Hey guys, this is a SR240 case. I got a leak in the radiator. It was spraying out. I tried to use my scope. I couldn't quite see where it was. This is very easy. There's a 1/2 inch bolt right here. Undo that. And unfortunately, this other one's right up here. It holds on your reservoir. And if you take that one off, you can pull this radiator back slightly and then take it the rest of the way out. Otherwise, it will hit your reservoir. But it will give you enough room to open this up and look down in here. And I have the pressure kit here. My shop is a mess, but this just goes in here, turns a couple clicks. I'll show you a better video of that. It's got the pressure gauge here, just a quick hand pump, and it will start spraying pretty quickly. Hey guys, if you don't know what this is a radiator pressure tester, and it has all these different fittings here, and it has a nice little booklet and everything. But all these fittings did not work when it even came out. They snap in there really nicely. They have all these fittings, and then I had to use one of the universals. That's these 3 big ones over here, and it sticks in there, and then it just clicked over 3 times. It was fine. And then this piece here clicks on there. You click it on there, make sure it's tight. You got a pressure gauge here and this nice little hand pump. And once it pumps up there, it will start spraying out. And make sure your cap's on here, or this one's in here, and it works really well. So the universal here just clicks back and forth. Stick it in there, click it till it feels like it holds pretty good. All right. Get your pump and just click it on there. It's just like a regular air hose. There we go. And then you got your gauge here, and you don't even have to get it all the way up through the green. It should, if you have a leak, it's already going to start blowing out. Down here, let's see if I can get this camera right there. Should be good. I'm going to pump it once, twice, 3 times a lady. Nope. Gonna take a little bit more. Oh, no, you can see it. I just don't have the right angle. There we go. See it? That's how easy this is to find your leak. And unfortunately, that really sucks, because radiators are expensive. At least it sucks for me. So right here is the clamp. I mean, you can see it right on top. Just takes a straight blade screwdriver. Make sure it's loosened up as much as I can. The hydraulic filter is a little bit in the way. And I'm going to wiggle that a little bit so I can get the clamp back behind the radiator shroud. There we go. All right. Now to get that hose off, and slowly pry it with that screwdriver. Hose looks pretty good. Seems to be moving pretty nicely. It did feel a little soft when squeezing it, but I don't think it's... So this is the hose I just took off. Just slid the clamp back enough to get it separated. The fun one is going to be way down in there. Let's see if I can get a better light on that. You can see it a little bit better. It's that really dirty clamp down there. It's really looking like a mess. So we got to take that off. And then I will take off this and this bracket. Now it looks like I can just take off this clasp here. And once I take off these, it should lift up and come out pretty easily. That hose down here on this side, the return, is so hard to get to. I think I'm going to try to pull off these 2 and see if I can get that up and off of this first. if I can get it. Seems a little bit hard. There we go. Maybe. Come on. You almost had it. It's a strange clasp. So let's see. Focus. All right. You have to kind of come in. My autofocus is messing with it. All right, here we go. So I came in from the bottom side, like from right here, and then went up and got it from the top. I thought, because it was so dirty, I thought I had to come in here, but it's actually really tight right there. Let me put that somewhere safe. Let's get the other one. Side, over on the top, and then it should slide off pretty. There it goes. Not too bad. All right, now you can push that through. I'll have to lift that a little bit. Oh, there's a hose in the back. That's all that is. It's a straight pin. It clips on that part right there. This one may be a real pain. Because if I push it back, it drops. I can pull it out once I get the radiator out, but when I go to put everything back in, it may be a problem. That's going to be a problem when I try to put that one back in. I think I still need to take off these brackets first. Maybe it's a ½ inch, just like the. Hoping it's a ½ inch, just like these. If so, that'd be nice. Yep, it is. There we go. Nice and tight. I don't think I need to take off this bracket at the moment, but it would just be easier once I get everything out, as long as I don't drop that down inside the compartment. It might become a problem. They're relatively easy to get out if you get stronger hands. One on this side is going to be a real problem though. I can get that pin out the rest of the way. What do I do with a screwdriver? Fell down off the ledge here. If I can get that pin out, I should be able to pull it this way, get it out, and then be able to get to that lower radiator clamp. Still not sure how I'm going to get it back in. I do believe it is hitting the radiator hose. And that's why that pin won't go all the way out. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. I can keep on that nut. Bolt. I'm not able to. That side's on pretty good. You can kind of get to this one. Maybe it's a little bit off there. Make it a little easier. Nope, it did not. Just the weight of the machine, and I can get this front one out. I can get to the back one. Hopefully a little bit easier. See? Sorry you can't see much, but I'm just undoing the bolt is all. My wrench will get on there. Still caked with mud. It's getting there. I think this is going to be a lot of fun putting it back together. And if you don't know what sarcasm was, or is, that's what it was. This side and the hose on top is going to be relatively easy. I think this is going to be the real bear. It is not going to be fun. I'm thinking about even how am I going to get that rear bolt back in the hole. So at least when I take the bracket off, I can put that long bolt back in there, put the clip on it before I set it back in. And then it should be easy enough. It's just going to be finding the bolt holes and trying to line up the hose, put the clamp back on and all that. That's going to be a problem. I do believe if I get this first bolt out, I might finally get that second bolt. And of course the reservoir tank is right in the way. And I'll drop the bolt. But I should be able to get to it easily when I get this out. Thank you for that back one. Is there a back one? Yep, it's way back there. Might have to get a longer wrench. Oh, there we go. Right, hold on 1 second. Because of the door, can't really see the bolt. There's so much grease and oil and gunk back there. Can't quite tell if I'm on the bolt. So if you're wondering what I did there, the wrench was here. You take this wrench, and if you put it in, you can lock it like so. And then, because it's a downward pressure and this ain't gonna help much, you can put your hand there, and then you can use both hands. That way you got more torsion here. That, or you can just go get a longer wrench. But I'm lazy. And I'm out here in the hay barn fixing this. And my shop is too far away where all my tools are. I'm really thinking by the time I get this one off, it will definitely drop into that hole. I'm going to have to be very careful when I go to put everything back together that if I drop this one, it won't be too bad when I'm putting it back together because I can just take it out. The front one, after I get the back one on, if I drop that, then I'll have to go get a magnet and try to pull it out because there's like no room in here to do anything. Unless I can take out that reserve tank and put that in afterwards. Hands getting tired. This is so much fun trying to get in here. That is being a real pain. My hands really hurting. I can't get my fingers in there to do anything. And it's so hard to see where it's actually at. Just going by feel. But there is those two nuts just like on this side. That just basically screw into the oil cooler. Hand's getting tired. Holding on to that wrench, trying to turn it. And you can tell I'm only getting like a very small turn out of each one of these. If the wrench gets on there. Only getting like a sixth of a turn every time. Frustrating. You only have about a ½ inch gap in there to be able to get your wrench in there. Because engineers do not work on their designs. They only design them. The bracket's getting loose. But not enough. You see quite a few threads on that bolt. Still not enough to get it out. And I know I'm going to drop that bolt. There is no way to hold on to it. I doubt the wrench will hold it. You know, it is pretty sticky. I'm lucky, maybe I can hold the bracket as it comes out. And that bracket doesn't want to move very well. Yeah. Thinking that the rod that went through is still holding on the other side, so I will lose this nut, this bolt that I'm trying to get out. Oh, there it is. I lost it. It's gone. All right. Let's see if we can get this radiator out enough to get to the radiator hose. There's some. There we go. Okay. I would move the camera, but it's nasty. I do have a nice longer screwdriver, so hopefully it reaches. Barely. It's all full of gunk. You know, I did try to wash the engine bay out best I could before looking for this leak. Then there we go. I had to scrape a bunch of the debris off of the clamp before I could even get the screwdriver to hit the clamp. So yes, this is going to be a real pain trying to put it all back together. Okay, should be loose enough. Now to actually get it off. Well, let's get my bucket, because I'm pretty sure that's going to pour out. If I can get it off. Oh, let me get the top one off here. That's a lot easier now. Come on. Yep, there it goes. Get at least the stuff out of the radiator. not out of the engine lock. That one went down. This is either amazingly heavy or it's a bad grip. No, it's heavy. So make sure you get as much radiator fluid out of it as possible. Otherwise that thing's gonna be really heavy. And the leak was right here, which, oh, there it is. There's the leak. Can't even see it, so. Should have had a spot to put this ahead of time. Put it over here on the bench, out of the way. You can see the whole backside of that was pretty bad. There's all this gunk in here. A lot of dirt. So there's part of the oil cap. So what happened was the oil cap came off. Part of the oil cap. Still missing probably another quarter of it. But the oil cap came off. Once it got down here in the blades and it chipped it, shot at the radiator, and popped the hole in the radiator. So, oh, there's a little gasket. That'll come in handy. At least that one doesn't look like it had any problem. Well, backup oil cap gasket. Let's see if there's anything else down here in this hole. Another piece of the oil cap. Anything else in here? Junk. Felt like I fell a piece. Yep, there's another piece. And another piece. Yay. I looked all over for that oil cap, trying to figure out where it was in the engine compartment. Had the cab lifted, everything else. Could not find it. That's why it was inside the radiator shroud here and doing its work on my radiator. So because that cap came loose, now I gotta fix it. Oh my goodness, that would be nasty. That will help with cooling once I get all that out of there. That is a lot of gunk. All right, now the fun part. I can get my hand cleaned off. Maybe we can find those bolts. They fell down right here. I was hoping there was going to be a little bit more room, but it sure does not look like it. It does not look like there's any room in there, so hopefully I can spot it. If anything, I'll go grab a magnet and I'll get the magnet to pull it out. Yeah. On the radiator clamp, that fell off already. It doesn't look too bad. I don't know if I want to reuse that or not. I'll probably get a new one. I have a bunch in the shop. I see one of the bolts. Not sure if I can reach it. Oh, I see them both. I don't know if I can get to them. My goodness. Yeah, magnet time. We have to get a magnet. And this does not come out easily. Maybe if if I take off this up here, I can slide it out. Let's see if we do that. 'Cause that would make life so much easier. 1/2 inch again, maybe? Yes, it is. 1/2 inch it is, but oh my goodness. I think that was the tightest one yet. All right. I think I can get that off by hand. Sweating so bad. There's a nut on the back side. Unlike the other ones that just bolt into the radiator or the oil cooler. And there we go. Let's see, as long as I don't drop this. The return hose is right in the way. Alright, there we go. We got the bracket. There's where the comes through. I always like to put everything kind of back together so that if something comes up on the farm, I can get back to it pretty easily. Oh, look at that. That's going to make life so much easier. So much easier. Oh, that is great. I love that. That makes life so much nicer. Because now, I should be able to reach right down in here and grab these bolts. Even with my fat hand. There's bolt number 1. Bolt number 2. Where'd you go? I pushed you underneath, didn't I? Oh, no. Don't fall down there. You did, didn't you? Where'd you go? Yep, I pushed it down and underneath. That's fun. Let's see if I can move that oil cooler back just a hair. You know. My wife's sneaking up behind me. All right, so the radiator is upside down, and I am going to have to clean all this up. It's really gunky. They'll help with the airflow, help with your cooling. That, if I can focus, is my problem, I do believe, right there. All right, so I do have to go do an acting gig. I will be on, let's see, on American Detective with Joe Kenda, season 4, episode 6. But before I do anything, I want to get that bolt out of here before I forget about it and can't find it. It's always good to have a magnet somewhere with your tools. I think I got it. Feels definitely heavier. If I can get it to turn. Look at there. There it is. All right. And also, before we get much further, let me drop it. All right, and also, before I get too much further along and forget, that bracket up top is this one right here, holds on your reservoir. It just goes around the top of this. Take that off first. Don't do what I did. Take that off first. There is like no videos on how to do a SR240 case. Take off that bracket, pull this out, either empty it. Mine's full, so I just stuck it kind of in here. Lay it across the top, whatever. It will be so much easier to get these 2 bolts off. You won't even have to take that rod out. But when I put this back together, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch socket because now I can get to it. And also, I'm going to clean all that up, but you'll be able to get that off. You'll be able to get into the clamp here much easier. Just take that off. If you skipped ahead in the video, or maybe I'll just splice this to the back or forward, but take off that bracket. Oh my goodness, that was so much easier. I could have took off this so much quicker. Look at that picture. Oh yeah. Oh, that's got that curve in there.
Panoramic.
You can see this issue right here. That one little pinhole is the whole problem. Now, if I buy this whole radiator, it's going to cost me about, I think the cheapest one I saw was $850. So we're definitely going to try to solder that. Just that little hole. There is a couple little dings here and here, and a little bit there, but they don't look like they're poking through. But that one definitely has a hole, and that's where the pressure test was showing that it leaked. Excuse all the mess in my hay barn. So these plates here, my flashlight is connected to. So these plates here are nice and easy to install. Only thing is, you don't really need to take them off. So these go down here at the bottom of the radiator. Gonna match the holes back up if you take them off, which I shouldn't have. And then these clips here, I was showing you so hard to take off. Don't take them off. You don't need to. Actually, put that in the wrong way, just in case I have to take it off. I'll make sure it's a whole lot easier next time, like it was this time. Just slip on. Before I lose those. I think I got the hole fixed. We'll see. The silver solder was not working, so we ended up using one of the different JB welds. And if you're looking to figure out which JB weld it is, just research it, make sure you get the right one. And I gotta suggest one, because JB weld, there is a bunch of them out there. So these are 1/2 inch. If I can find my 1/2 inch wrench. What'd I do with it? That would be a bad mistake. I lost it. Oh, right there. Lack of sleep. All right, 1/2 inch. Pretty much everything is a 1/2 inch, so that's really nice. You just need to clean up my radiator cap fell in the dirt. That was not good. And my rag is falling apart here. So you don't want any paper to dust in your radiator. What you want in is coolant. You don't want anything else. So even though I'm cleaning this off with the paper towel, I want to make sure I don't leave any paper towel residue in there, like right there. Alrighty. Clean the outside off. Also, just to make sure everything's nice and clean when I'm putting it back together. It's really falling apart. And you'll see right there, it says 16 pounds of pressure. So when you're doing your pressure test, do not go over 16 pounds. You could cause more issues. All right, well. Still a little bit of crud on there. Just from years of use, which is, the machine's not even that old, but always make sure your radiator cap does adjust to the pressure. You can do a hot water test to make sure it's actually working, but I've never had a problem with it, so I'm not even gonna play with that. All right, let's get you. All right, leave you good right there. So I'm going to take my bottle, reposition this up here, on me. Cap on a little bit better. That is pretty clean. You want to make sure you're not knocking anything into the engine. Last thing you need is dirt in there. You can see there's a little bit of dirt, not much. Fun one is going to be down here. I don't know if you can hear my horses in the background. Nasty. Alright, I need to find my nasty clamp. It's actually pretty good, so I'm just going to reuse it. Whenever possible, use new clamps, but you can see this one's just dirty. Once I clean it up, it looks pretty good. There's a little bit of rust on the screw head, but not too bad. All right. Clean the twigs out here real quick. Make sure when you install that the screw that you want to get to is in the proper position. There's still fluid in there, so being careful not to just drip it all over the place. These radiators do have some heft to them. I'm leaking. There we go. Alright. Trying to get this little bracket out. Here comes the fun. Or you won't be able to see anything. I'm trying to grab a hold of that hose. It's not being easy. I'm getting it on there, which it is on there now. I'm trying just to bracket, but I have my hand through the fan guard. Through the fan. And I'm trying to get the clamp back into position, if I can. Getting caught on the radiator guard. There we go. Alright. I'll get my hand out of the door. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna set that for 1 second. I'll switch the camera view so you can see what I'm talking about. Get my hands somewhat clean. My phone case is encased in grease. Alright. Take off the tripod here. So, since you can see that silver clip way down there, I took my hand and I went down through the fan here and I held it from the back side, because otherwise all it wanted to do was it wanted to push that hose back. So I had to get back here basically. Yeah, if I came in from the top, you can do it that way also, but it's a longer reach. It's a longer reach right there, and I don't know if I would have had as much pressure, so I went through the fan to get to it. Now I tighten it up. Got a nice long screwdriver, so it should work pretty good. Still gonna have to put my hand on the back side of that hose and hold it forward though, because it wants to slide off. Yep, up right now. Alright. screwdriver down for a second. Make sure that's all the way up. Which, put my hand in there. There we go. You want to make sure it's all the way on, otherwise you're just going to cause more trouble. There, maybe. There, you're watching the back side of me at the moment. And of course that goes around and around. No pressure on it. Let's see if I can get better pressure. So at least there's holding. I'd take my fan or my arm back out of the fan and hold the clamp with my thumb and get enough pressure. There it goes. Now it's not moving. Put my hand back through the fan. Push on the hose. Now see if I can tighten it. Come on. It wants to spin as soon as I get any kind of pressure in here. What I mean by spin is the radiator hose clamp just wants to rotate on the hose. I'm having to keep readjusting it because I'm trying to get some pressure on the screwdriver to hold in the slot, which makes it rotate. I think that might have it. Oops. So as I say that, screwdriver falls off the slot. That fan guard is really eating into my fat forearm. On tightening clamps like these, you don't want to get too tight. You want to make sure it's tight enough. Because if you get too tight, they're just a spin, and then they spin and they come off. Or they, the little wheel in there is only tightening onto the clamp as it goes, and there's just little slots in there. So if you tighten it too much, you'll actually pull it apart and skip over. And then you've kind of defeated the purpose. So the top one here, you can easily get to pretty easily. The hydraulic filter is in the way. You just got to wiggle it on there. Hose is on, now I got to get the clamp back on there, and then you got to get it around so that you can actually tighten this thing. All right, so I'm putting the clamp at the very top, but I got to get it past the vanguard. There we go. All right, let me see if I can get that a better picture for you real quick. I'm just going to grease off my hands. Bear with me. All right. So down in here, I do have that one on, and then this one I put up here because I still have this loose. I have not put the bolts in down here. I still have it loose, so I'm just going to pull it back a little bit like that. Hold it with my forearm or my right arm to pull this back. My left hand's going to push on the hose to keep it. And then as my forearm is holding right here, I'll be able to take my screwdriver and just tighten it down, which I'm going to use the shorter screwdriver just because I really dislike using these really long screwdrivers sometimes. You just don't get the control that you do with a shorter one. All right, let's get that tightened up real quick. And guys, you can always fast forward through all this. You don't have to sit here and listen to me talk to you about doing certain things. But make sure that hose is on there. But if you're trying to find any little help, you may want to listen to everything. Like right now, that clamp is way too loose, so I got to hold the clamp, tighten it up enough that it's holding on the hose. So when I put pressure on there, it doesn't go spinning around. And then it gets in a worse position for me to try to tighten. I think the hydraulic filter would hold it though, but I don't like it rubbing on there, because one, who knows how long you're going to be running this, and that clamp will either rub a hole into the hydraulic filter, which is probably not very possible, but the hydraulic filter could rub on the clamp enough to make the clamp fail, and then you're going to have a leak again, and then you're going to have to tear everything apart. That thing is not wanting to tighten up very well. Keep sliding off. Maybe it's getting tighter. And there we go. So you can see, if you put your forearm here, you can just move that back and forth. I mean, it's not connected, so you could always just lift it up and pull it out, but I don't want to put too much pressure on that radiator hose. Oh, it's still slipping. Let's give this another turn. All right. Pressure on the radiator hose. Tighten it. Maybe I should have used that longer screwdriver. My fingers wouldn't be stuck in here between the radiator and the shroud. Getting there. If I could keep my screwdriver on the clamp, it'd be awesome. There we go. All right. So should I pressure test this before I start bolting everything in? I can, but there's just a few bolts. There's this one here, and then the two here, the two here, and one like this on the other side back here. It's gonna be easy enough. And this, so I'm just gonna make sure everything's in place, then pressure test it, and then we can see. That is why, I mean, if it is broke, I still gotta take it all apart, but I think it's pretty good. I'll put these two for over here, down here, these two here, grab my 1/2 inch. Just gonna work with that. Some light down in there. And if you take out that reservoir, it's going to make your life a lot easier. And I said I was going to use a 1/2 inch socket, but I forgot it. So I'm just going to hopefully not drop that bolt. Get both my hands in there, so it's a possibility of not dropping it. And I cannot find the hole. I think I'm going to do the front hole first, since that'll be a little bit easier to find. Let's see. Move it around a little bit. Maybe it's too low. Yep, that's a little bit too low. Oh, come on. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Get in there. There we go. It makes life so much easier when you take out that reservoir. I can actually get my fingers in here and throw that in. So this does not sit down completely and compresses this seal here, so you do need to lift it up a slight bit. I'll get this side in. Front. Lift that up a little bit on the back. Get that to go in. You can see that bracket's loose on the top, but it is mainly just to hold that in place once you get everything tightened down. Put that one in, tighten that down. I like to hand tighten everything by hand if I can before I start wrenching on a single bolt. That way everything's kind of in place before you start really wrenching on anything hard. And, yep, I need to come forward a little bit. Trying to get that. And if you got strong enough fingers, the index and middle finger is what I'm putting it in. You can see my thumb's not even being used. So now I got to put my other hand in there. There we go. So I'm using my two middle fingers, one on top of the bolt, one on the bottom, to help spin it in. And that's pretty close. Oh, there we go. Now I can get it. Alright, so those are tight by hand. This one, I need my reservoir plate, because this piece goes back here like this, that goes through here. This top bolt on this side, like this, goes in here, but if I put that all in there, it's going to be a pain to get to the bottom ones. After I just said I like to make sure they're all hand tightened, but this one's adjustable because I can go back and forth from this on here, and that way this one doesn't really matter too much. All right, let's tighten this baby down. I'm going to take a minute or two. Sorry if it's a long video, but you can skip ahead. All right, well, that tightened up pretty quick. As long as I don't drop my wrench in there, I'll be fine. Because there is very few access plates on the bottom of this. You can get to some areas, but this area you cannot get to, even with the access plate off. Getting there. Just really hard to move the wrench. All right. And again, it's aluminum, so don't over tighten. You ain't gotta go crazy, because yes, the machine will bounce around and everything, but this is bouncing with the machine. It's not like it's bouncing opposite. So it's not really going to get that loose that easy because it's bouncing with the machine. So you don't have to over tighten, and with over tightening of aluminum, you can really cause issues because you can really mess up the threads pretty easy on aluminum. All right. And this is still, it's hinged down here, so it still moves back and forth. You want to get it up against that seal of the radiator shroud, so just push it in. And you can push it till it touches, and then just go a little bit further, not a whole lot, just a little bit, if I go the right way, to squish that seal so it's actually a good seal. It's mainly just helping keep a little bit extra dirt out of there. All right, there we go. Now to fish this back in the hole, now that I got everything in the way, I think I'm gonna have to take that hose off. It's gonna be a whole lot easier. Could have took that hose off and just took this and put that somewhere else, couldn't I? Remember that. Do that next time. All right. That was a good magnet on that. All right. Now if I can get it in there, I got the hoses going to the back of the door here. Goodness. There we go. I'm going to do it the right way. There we go. All right. Now there's a lock on the door here, but it does not work until it gets way back over here. I think that lock is crazy. Even I tried to put it on the inside, and that lock still didn't work on that door. So, all right. So the bottom pretty much just sits in that little groove down there, and that's stuck in my grill. It fell down in between that seal. Make sure that doesn't happen. All right. So take nut off, bolt off, take the cap back off, and since this hose might be a problem, it goes underneath the dipstick, goes around the back. back of this, and you take the cap off so that this will actually go over the top of it. So you do have to play with it just a little bit, and there it goes. And take out that bolt, so it's sitting on it. As I don't drop it, it's getting close to coming out. There it goes. All right, took that bolt out. Now put it back in there. You gotta find the hole. If I can. Find the hole with my finger first to figure out where that is. Oh, goodness, there it is. That was too high. Right there. All right. So maybe. Problem is I cannot see over there. Maybe I can see it from the other side of the door. Alright, right there. As long as this bracket doesn't move, I should be able to just follow it in. Find the hole. Maybe, maybe not. I think that was about the hardest part of putting this back together so far. Oh, come on. Trying to get it started. Once I can get it started, then I'll feel much better. Oh, come on. You're in the hole. Problem is, there's not much room for my big hands in there. There we go. Started? Started? Yes. Started. I probably could have came in from the back and tried to wheel up in and everything else, but no, I gotta do that. All right, so then your bolt nut at the top here, which must not be sitting quite right. It's not quite in there right. Oh, no, it's not. There we go. There is a little notch out at the bottom. If you can get it in there. There it goes. That probably would make life much easier. So there is a little bracket at the bottom and the plastic falls into it. That would probably make it a whole lot more easier in life if I pay attention. Alright, so bolt. Careful of the nut again. You don't want to drop it way down in there, and you got to take everything out. Or I do have a long magnet with a light, but why go through that? You can just pay attention to what you're doing and slowly get it on there. I'm just holding the nut and then spinning the bolt into the nut. You guys can see that, but not a whole lot of room. So make sure both of these are hand tight. And you can push that reservoir around a little bit, make sure everything's hand tight before you start reefing on something. Okay, half inch again, thank goodness. Make sure your bracket's in the right position before you start tightening anything down. Get my wrench in there, another tight spot. I usually don't like using the open end because you can slide off bolts and start causing more issues, but there's just not enough room to use the box end. So I am using the open end to get it pretty tight. Now we'll fuss with it with the box end to get it a little bit more tight. Again, don't over tighten. It's aluminum. Right tight, there we go. And I've just got my thumb on the bolt in front. Probably using 2 1/2 inches would be a lot better. Again, not a whole lot of room to move. you're strong enough, you can just push that, hold that bolt, and then turn the nut on the back side. That one's a little better. It's steel on steel. So I can go a little bit harder. All right. So, butt bolts, pins, got both bolts in there, both bolts here, bullet top, reservoirs in, caps on, hoses on, both radiator hoses are on. Now I have to go find the fluid, put it in there, and then I can pressure test it. All right, so I was pretty surprised. It only took I was pretty surprised it only took 3 jugs to fill it up. And I left a little bit of room at the top so I can get that pressure tester. And you can go to AutoZone. Well, the 2 local AutoZones that are much easier to get to did not have the entire kit. They didn't have anything. So I had to go over about 45 minutes away and get the pressure tester from a different AutoZone. It's $275 roughly to rent it, but as soon as you take it back, they give you your money back. And none of the actual clips that screwed on here or on the reservoir worked. Luckily, they have 3 different universal ones, and the number 20 worked if you get the same kit. But basically, push it down in there until it kind of stops, and then turn it until it locks, and then that's pretty much it. So then you have your gauge. Can you see that gauge? Nope. Let's move the camera up. And if you don't have a tripod, people, get a tripod. It's really easy to make videos that way. So on here, 16 pounds of pressure is way up here. But I found the leak. I didn't even have, what, maybe 3 pounds of pressure in there. And I don't have a blade out here, but I'm gonna start pumping in there. And just nice, easy hand pump. And it's already building pressure, so that's a good sign. I got 5 pounds of pressure. I don't see anything getting wet. I'm going to leave it there for a second. Still has 5 pounds of pressure. Let's take you guys off the tripod. Get a tripod if you're making videos. It makes such a nicer video. So you can see right there, about 5 pounds of pressure. And this cap says 16. So you don't want to go above the 16 because then you can make holes. But there is nothing spraying down there. I'm very happy. So, and all I did was when I put water in the radiator to fill it up, because if I did have another leak, I did not want to put a bunch of antifreeze in here and then have a leak. And I got to dump it again and all that. So I did 3 of the, how much are they? 1 gallon? Yep. 1 gallon bottles, filled it up, which I thought, this thing is so thick and so big, I thought there was going to be a lot more need for it. Yeah, I'm still holding right at 5 pounds, so I think we're good. Now, there is a relief valve right here. And then here, just like a regular air pressure, you just got to pull back on it. I'll put this off to the side. And then to undo it, just click back down, pull it out. Whenever you're not putting anything in there, it's just putting the cap back on just to make sure no dirt gets in there, like my hands. I got an itch on my nose. All right, so let's drain some of that. And then we'll put antifreeze in there. I'm gonna put my bucket down here. I'm gonna try to catch that water so I know how much I let out. Let me turn it. There we go. Open up on top so you get less pressure. It's coming up pretty slow. Not that that's going to make a difference, but it's coming a little bit better. You can hear the difference. Just need to open it up a little bit more. Takes a little while. Fast forward. Jump ahead. So repairing your radiator is relatively easy as long as you can get that hole sealed. But taking it out and putting it back in is not a hard process. It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm used to pulling out radiators on cars, and you got to take off so much stuff that is just ridiculous to get to the radiator. This is so much nicer. I'm going to open that up a little bit more since it started to slow down. The pressure of the water on top is getting less, so it doesn't come out as much. You figure when it's up here, it's got this much pressure. When it's here, it's not even half as much pressure trying to push it out. So you do have to play with that a little bit more and more. And sometimes there's a little bit of gunk in there, so it doesn't want to come out very well. It's only about half full. Try to find a spot that I'm easy to hold it. There was a little antifreeze in here, but not much. So I'm gonna drain it, figure out how much I got. Probably gonna take out another one of these, so if you want to fast forward even further, or maybe I'll just cut all that out. But yeah, we're almost there, about 3/4. I believe I only have one more actual antifreeze bottle, so I may have to run into town, grab another one. I'm trying to get this done so that there's people coming today at noon and then again at 5 o'clock to pick up hay, and I need this load to the trailer, so I'm trying to get it done in time for that. There we go. Going the right way? Yep. All right. So that's one. There we go. Now you can get a antifreeze tester that will tell you if you have the right amount of antifreeze in your machine, and if you're up north you definitely want to do that. If you're in a very hot region, you definitely want to do that. Here in Tennessee it gets hot but more humidity, but it will still affect your cooling in your vehicle. Wish these valves were a little bit more see-through. Maybe I could tell how much I got in there. I don't have much. There's not much left. You can tell because the pressure just dropped down quite a bit. A little bit more. Now I've seen guys put their mouth on there and blow to get it out quicker. Just patience. You could go over that 16 psi and cause an issue, or you're just going to get nasty lips for doing it. Some people will put their hand on it and use a air compressor. I got time. I'm old, but I ain't that old. All right, let's see how much we got. About 1.5. Oh, and you actually see there's a little bit of green coming out. So finally got down to the antifreeze. I'm going to hold on to that just in case I need to refill, but I'm pretty sure I have to go into town to get another one. So I only have the one here. And I'm not showing you, hopefully I'm not showing you too much of the brand, because they're not paying me. So I'm not going to promote them. But it is just a cheap antifreeze. If when I go down, I think I'll buy a little bit better antifreeze. I mean, it can't be that much better, but why not mix a little bit better? And I usually just use the universal. Can be used in anything. I mean, I'm sure Case has a special antifreeze that you're supposed to use. Probably prolongs the life of the engine, but that's all right. You can hear it grow. Alright, always remember to put your cap back on. It's right about here, so I definitely need another one. Alright, put my caps on, tighten both of them down, take out all the extra crud out of the engine compartment, and I do believe we are ready. Thank you for watching. If you've watched this long, you're awesome. But again, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and follow me for more videos of the farm, acting, who knows what I get into next. Thank you again.